You might slip, you might slide, you might stumble and fall by the roadside. But don't you let nobody drag your spirit down. Remember, we're walking up to heaven. Don't let nobody turn you around.
Well, the Heritage Blues Orchestra, what we try to do is we try to bring all facets of the African American music experience to the table. Our concerts are rich with traditional blues, with field hollers, gospel. What else? Delta blues, traditional blues. Yeah. So we try to bring all of that as an auditory experience to the audience.
Thank you very much.
I think the blues deserves more attention these days. You know, in the States, it's kind of funny. You know, there was a period where blues was really popular, and then it wasn't so popular, and maybe it's half popular, and then not so popular again. And some people think that the blues is dying, but every time you look at television and you see all these commercials, they're using blues tunes and blues licks, and you know, they're kind of got that culture, but they kind of push the actual music as far as being popular kind of to the side. But one thing that I found out is that a lot of times when within our shows, after the show, people don't realize how much fun they can have and how much of a great experience they can have listening to the blues and all of its fruits.
One of the other members of the orchestra, Bill Sims Jr., is my dad, so that's how I became versed in the blues. I grew up with it. I grew up with it in my house. He practiced all the time, and I would hear, you know, anywhere from Elmore James to Albert King to Skip James and Son House to some of the female artists, Sarah Vaughan and Aretha Franklin, all of those musicians that are rooted in the blues. And I of course love American pop music, which is also rooted in that history, whether or not we choose to acknowledge it, and hip hop and soul and R&B. So.
Dressed in white, sing all day, dance all night, wiggle, purr like a cat, wink at your baby, you better wink back, yeah, sea line, whoa, yeah.
The blues was just another way to express yourself, whereas gospel music is expressing to God or the Creator, and blues music is just expressing views of everyday life. I mean, that's really, the blues is just stories about everyday life and experiences of the writers. There's this dichotomy between the blues and gospel that, people that are really religious, they feel like the blues is the devil's music, and to me that's not true. I mean, you can sing some distasteful gospel too, so it's really no difference to me. For me, personally, it's and how you project it and what it's about. I mean, it's good and bad and everything. But I came to know the blues because as a youngster, I always liked the sound of the guitar. And at the time, I had an uncle that used to come over, and he played in gospel quartets, but he liked the blues, and that's what my ear was attracted to. So I kind of watched him, and I learned some of the things that he was playing, and that led me to Jimmy Reed and Freddie King, Lightnin' Hopkins, then later on Albert King, B.B. King. Then after them, it's funny, you got the Dwayne Allman here. He's my favorite guitarist. I found the Allman Brothers Band, and which their music is blues based. So I found them, and the second favorite guitar player is Jan Ackerman, believe it or not. But anyway, and I could hear blues in the early Focus recordings. Yeah, it may not be 1, 4, 5, but it's very soulful and bluesy in my opinion. So.
Clarksdale is a town laying heavy on my mind. Can have a good time there and not have one lousy dime. Clarksdale, Mississippi, always gonna be my home.
Well, I think that we're a very diverse group of musicians. You know, we have musicians from the United States and from France, and you know, we're all coming to the table with our experience, and I think that the music reflects that, you know, reflects all of our different stories. And yeah, it's impossible for us to sound the same. We're all coming to the table with a different reflection. Yeah.
Thank you.